Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be talking care labels. We're going to be talking washing, we're going to be talking drying, ironing. It's going to be way more fun than it sounds. But yeah, I'm going to go through the labels. I've been getting a lot of requests on Instagram, DMs and comments, and I got a couple messages on Facebook Messenger about this, about people asking me about care labels. I did mention it in a previous video if anybody would be interested, and since then I've gotten a lot of messages about it and a lot of requests for it, and then a couple of people who I know as well have asked me to kind of go over it because it can be super confusing, and also depending on what country you're in, the labels can be slightly different. So I know there is certain differences between Europe and the US. There's huge differences. Now although the symbols and generally the labels are the same or similar, they can mean quite different things. So I'm going to go over it all today. The majority of the stuff I know is European because obviously I live in Europe. But I also know some of the American stuff, so I'm going to go over what I can. I'm going to go over what I do know. I've done research on this. I need to say now, right now, here in this moment, disclaimer, I do not work for laundry companies. I do not work for clothing manufacturing companies. I do not work for a dry cleaner. I am not an expert in the field of how to do your laundry. I am not should I say I'm not a professional. I know a lot of stuff about this because I've been doing my laundry since, well, for years, since I was a teenager. And I learned a lot about stuff and fabric changes and ruining clothes. I have done it. You know, and I'm going to throw in a few little hints and tips and things you can pick up and learn that might necessarily be on your label, or it might be just stuff I found out over the years that wasn't commonly available unless you specifically went looking for it. So without further ado, let us begin. So the first symbol I'm going to talk about is the bucket symbol, I suppose you could call it. So this is just your standard washing machine symbol. If you see this symbol just by itself as it is here on the screen, it can be, your item can be machine washed. So now there is slight differences with this. When it has two lines underneath it, like this image here, that means that it has to be washed within a delicate cycle. The one line is not something I've seen very often, but I know in the US it's known as permanent press. So the next one you're going to get then is your standard bucket, as you see here, with all your different temperatures. You got your 20, your 30, your 40, your 50, your 60, so on and so forth, up to 90. And this is the temperature that the fabric can withstand within the washing machine. So it is not required for you to wash the fabric at this temperature, because I know some people will not wash, say, your 40 label on a 30-degree cycle. It is okay to wash them cooler. This is generally stated as the maximum temperature for washing the fabric. If you have this with an extra, it means that your clothing is not suitable to be machine washed. If there is this symbol here, which is the hand in the bucket, that means your clothing is hand wash only, is not suitable for the machine. If you have a more modern machine, there is probably a hand wash setting on the machine, so you can probably use that. Other symbols you will see are this one. I think these are American symbols. Again, I could be wrong. If they're not American symbols, I apologise. I thought they were. In my research, a lot of American fabric companies were coming up with these symbols, so that's why I think they're North American symbols. So you've got your 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot, 5 dot and 6 dots. 6 dots is 95 degrees, your 1 dot is 30 degrees. Is that correct? Yeah, so it goes up in increments of 10, so 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then 95, I think. Is it 95? Yeah, 95. A little tip I'm going to throw in here before we go on any further, as I feel it's relevant to what we're doing right now, is your laundry detergent. There are different types of detergent. You have your biological and your non-bio. I may have covered this in a previous video, but we're going to cover it again, because why not? So biological or bio powder contains biological agents which help to break down proteins, fats, that kind of stuff. Grass, coffee, blood, sweat, all that kind of stuff. Biological powders. A non-bio powder does not contain biological agents, so it will not be able to break a lot of that stuff down and get it out of the fabric. Now, non-bio powder does still wash your clothes, and it is really good for sensitive skin. Most people use it when they have newborns, or young children, or children with sensitive skin, or even themselves with sensitive skin, because a lot of the irritations people get from you know, the likes of washing powders, laundry cleansers, laundry detergents, whatever you want to call it, is from the biological agents. Not everybody, but some people. They also come in liquid form, powder tablets, liquid tablets. There's a variant of them. Read the box and the instructions and it will tell you what is in it. Now, the next thing I want to quickly talk about is fabric softener. It's actually super bad, it turns out, for fabrics. Who knew? Well, apparently a lot of people did. So, main things with fabric softener: if you have a product that contains elastane, so like this t-shirt here has elastane in it, stuff like lycra, nylon, I'm quite sure polyester and acrylic. So essentially, artificial fabrics or things containing artificial fabrics are damaged by fabric softener. So just to be aware, be careful where you use your fabric softener. It could be damaging your clothes. And also regularly check your labels. I have been buying the same jeans from the same company for years, and they recently swapped over, which was an incredible thing that they did. Their jeans are now made from recycled plastic, which is incredible. It's because it's taken that plastic out of landfill and, let's be real, the sea, the ocean. But of course, I didn't notice till I ordered the stuff was made of plastic. Then I didn't think about it. Then some of the stuff, I noticed the jeans were kind of wearing more. They weren't as stretchy and whatever. And I stopped using fabric softener on them several years ago, because I heard several years ago, if it's elasticated, no fabric softener, because it destroys the elastic in the fabric, essentially. So you lose the shape and the actual elastication of the clothing. So I stopped that, but they were still feeling strange. So, and I've always been able to tumble dry them. So I checked the label only to find they are no longer able to be tumble dried. And I've literally been tumble drying them like whatever, because it's winter here, it's too cold outside to dry anything on the line, so I've been tumble drying it. So yeah, I've actually damaged a lot of them, which is annoying because they're expensive, but we live and learn, and I'm glad I know now rather than 6 weeks or 6 months or 2 years down the line. So rather let me make mistakes, guys, so that you don't have to, and you don't have to wreck your own stuff. Additional note: do not ever use or do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do. It's just my advice and my suggestion. So do not use fabric softener on microfiber. What basically happens is it catches in the microfiber, the actual fabric softener itself, and it builds up and builds up and builds up, and then over time microfiber becomes completely ineffective. You'll notice that over time. I have some microfiber cloths I have been using for years, and I've noticed recently they don't soak up the water as well, they don't dust as well, and it's because they've been washed with fabric softener. Oh, and especially if you are someone who uses e-cloths, I love the e-cloths. There is usually a description or a link for them in the description box below. If there's not, check my previous videos, you will definitely find one. But e-cloths cannot be washed with fabric softener ever, 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 ever. Do not. They build up and they will destroy the cloth. It's completely up to you. They're your clothes. I'm not wearing your clothes, you are wearing your clothes. But yeah, if there's any more you want to know about that, please let me know in the description box, in the comment section down below. Generally, when you're washing, if you look on there's a dial usually on washing machines, or there's a settings. Generally, if you look at the label on your clothing, you will find a setting that matches. The picture should match between your washing machine and your label. So use that as well as your guide, because I have stuff on my machine that doesn't really mean anything. Like, I've got cottons, obviously, that's pretty standard, dark clothes, no problem, fair enough. Easy care. What is easy care? I don't know what that means. But you get stuff like that, like Easy Care, Water Plus, you know what I mean, Long Drain, Extra Drain, Aqua Plus, Eco-Friendly, this feature, that feature, other feature. And no one knows what they mean. Follow the symbols, guys. They generally match the symbols. And it's funny because a lot of the symbols seem so complicated, and then the machine seems so complicated, but then once you kind of figure out what they are, you realise it's actually a very straightforward system. So next of all, anyway, what I moved on to was tumble dryers. There's many a tumble dryer, depending on whether you got a front loader, you got a top loader. They're different. Same with the tumble dryer or with the washing machines, front loader, top loader. I use front loaders. So the first one is this symbol here. You've got your square and your circle. When you have that, it means that the thing is suitable for tumble drying. Okay, so there's different symbols on it. So they've got the 1 dot, which is low heat, 2 dots is medium heat, 3 dots is high heat. What you may also see on your machine is this one here. It's blacked out, which means you can tumble dry but without heat. Near 0 heat size needs to be on its lowest temperature. 1 line underneath means synthetic, or again permanent press, which is synthetics. And then the second 2 lines here means you need to use the delicate cycle on the tumble dryer. But all these mean that the tumble dryer can be used. If you get this symbol here with the X through it, you cannot tumble dry the fabric. Like obviously, can you tumble dry? Yeah, of course you can. No one's going to stop you. But it's very likely going to damage the clothing, or it may in fact destroy it. It could shrink it, damage the colour, the attachments, that kind of stuff, the finishings on it. So it is not recommended by the manufacturer to tumble dry. My rule of thumb generally with that is as well, is that if I see a tumble dryer, if I don't see a tumble dryer symbol on the label, I take that it can't be tumble dried. So they just didn't put it on it. I try not to risk it, because I don't want to wreck my clothes, essentially. Okay, so these next couple of symbols as well are to do with drying, but they're non-tumble dryable. So this one here is drying on a line. So drying on like a clothing line. And this one here is dry flat. This one here, which obviously you dry the clothing flat. This one here is drip dry. So again, you could use a washing line for this, clothes horse, that kind of thing. Even put it on a hanger to drip dry it. That's basically what you do. Don't apply, essentially drip dries generally as well, don't apply heat to it. Let it drip dry itself, let the water literally drip off it. You get this a lot on sportswear and outdoor equipment. So I'm going to also want to throw in a quick little question for you guys here. I don't know if many of you know about the dangers and the risks of the household chemicals. Not to be all doomsday here, but if you guys know about data sheets and stuff like that, and what the different symbols mean. I was going to put in this video, but I'm just worried this video is going to be really long and boring, and I don't want to bore you guys. But if you guys would be interested in seeing a video on that kind of stuff, let me know. I can explain what all the different chemicals mean. I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, I have a bit of a medical background. Not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Not even a nurse. But I used to work in kind of medical aspect on an ambulance, so I do have a little bit of training in that. Again, I'm not an expert. Disclaimer, it is not professional advice. I'm not giving treatment. I'm not telling you how to deal with it, how to cure. I'm just giving you suggestions. But yeah, stuff that might be helpful to you, especially if you've got family and kids in the house. It's good to have data sheets. But anyway, that's not for now. That's for possibly another video. Let me know in the comments down below, and if, or even on my social, if you're on my socials, drop me a message or drop me a comment. Because if you'd be interested in doing that, I can do a video, even if it's just like a quick 10-minute video between our normal videos. If you just something like that, or if you'd like a more detailed video, please let me know. I have no problem doing that. But yeah, so next thing we need to move on to, which I'm going to be honest is one of my least favourite things to do. It's so much of my least favourite that I just don't do it. And I know I should, because it's good for your clothes in the long run. But anyway, here we are. We have arrived at this time. We've arrived at this moment. Oh my god, that was sound so dramatic. I'm like, we've arrived. So dramatic. Anyway, what we're going to move on to now is ironing. Yay. Now, there's probably some of you out there going, I love ironing. It keeps me calm. It gives me peace. I love it. If you're one of these people, hats off to you. I commend you. You are phenomenal. Actually, you're all phenomenal. But you, if you can do ironing and enjoy it, clap for you. Round of applause. Please join me, everyone. Please join me. But okay, so there's a couple of symbols with ironing, which are including but not limited to. You've obviously got your little iron symbol here. That just means iron your clothes. They can be ironed. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You're probably going to sense a bit of a pattern here, guys. If you see this symbol with an X through it, don't do it. Generally, if you see a symbol and the same symbol with an X, it generally means don't do it on a care label. That may sound really obvious, To some people, and those of you who do know are probably like, obviously, but I was surprised by the number of people who I told that to who didn't know what that meant. And I'm actually surprised by the number of people who have no idea what care labels mean or what they're for or don't know how to do laundry. And again, not a judgment, not a criticism. There are many things that I probably should know that I do not know. That's why I'm making this video, so that everybody who wants to know can know. So one of my best friend is, and she, by the way, I got her permission to talk about this. She's fully aware I'm talking about this and she doesn't care. I have asked her in case you're like, are you throwing shade at your best friend? I'm not. Maybe a little bit. Not really. So I used to live with her. We used to be housemates a while ago. But basically when I moved in, the way she did laundry was just, it was tragic, guys. It was tragic. Through no fault of her own. And I just want to say that, I want to say this as a general comment to the people out there who make judgments and the people out there who cast aspersions and are not very nice or say stuff like, I can't, like, how can you not do that or whatever. No one is able to do something unless they are shown and unless they are taught. So if you find someone who doesn't know how to do something that you need to do, my suggestion and recommendation is, if they would like, obviously, show them how to do it, tell them how to do it, teach them how to do it. Because, cafe, cheers. Cheers everyone. Sláinte. What you call her? If they don't know how to do it, it's probably because they were never shown. So please don't be critical of them, because there's lots of things. Everything is easy to do if you know how to do it. And things are really hard to do if you don't know how to do them. So yeah, that's just my little, you know, spread the positivity moment of today. Anyway, so moving swiftly along, she would put, my best friend anyway, would put like dark clothes in with white clothes, jeans with white t-shirts, hoodies with bed sheets. Not that you can't put hoodies with bed sheets, but like a black jumper with a white bed sheet. Or, you know, like a beige one. So basically everything went in the washing machine together. Nothing was separated by colour, by type. Nothing. Everything could be washing machined. It's like, oh, there's a white t-shirt in there, and I introduced your colour catcher sheets. Like, if you insist on putting everything in the machine together, please, I beg you, use colour catcher sheets. Please. But then I also probably don't wash your jeans with anything that's not dark, because you're going to ruin it. So I think the kind of consensus was, oh, I'll throw an extra, you know, colour catcher sheet in with the jeans. Anyway, she's gotten better over time. And she also is one of the worst offenders for fabric softener. Like literally just, you know, the little cap is how she fills it. And then it's overfilling and she just goes. There you go, that's enough fabric softener. Powder, just like, that's fine. And then, you know, those little crystal things, the scent boosters, oh, half the jar. Half the jar's gone in. She loves fabric softener. The more, the better. Another point to make as well, this is just my own experience, this is not like science proven facts or anything, this is just my own experience. I find when you use fabric softener in clothes as well, they take longer to dry. I've always found that with them. It's almost like the fabric softener traps the water. Now that could be complete fallacy and I could be just imagining things, but that's what I have found in my experience. Anyway, I have worked with her on upping her laundry game. And she's a lot better than she used to be. But like, that's the thing. When I went in, I was like, really, what are you doing that for? And that's why I did that once, twice, and then I kind of realised, you know, that's not helpful and I don't want to make her feel bad. Because she didn't know, because she just wasn't shown, which is like fair enough. Like, that's not her fault. But yeah, so spread love and encouragement rather than criticism and judgment. But yeah, love and support, should I say, rather than criticism and judgment. Try that one again. Anyway, what are we on to? Ironing. Oh my god, it's like literally like I can't even talk about ironing apparently. I just like it so much. No, I'm sure it's not that bad. I just... as yeah, I've mentioned in the past on the channel, I'm a perfectionist. So if there's like a little crease, I'm like, go, and then it creates another, and then like this, and then there's another crease, and then another one. and then it just takes 25 minutes to iron one shirt. So, and also my mom did teach me how to iron, but my mom was also super fast at ironing. Like literally she'd throw the shirt on, turn it around, little flick of the wrist, flip it over, do that and then do this, and then all of a sudden the shirt would be folded like it looked like it was in a shop, like looking like it had just come out of the packaging, perfectly like crisp lines, everything smooth. And I was like, but there was a crease on that when you moved it, and I just stressed me out, guys. Sorry, I just don't. Sorry, don't obliged a bit dust. But yeah, so ironing stresses me out. Anyway, ironing symbol, we've been doing that. X, not don't iron it. Great. Now, this is one that this is one of these things I've always known. So it's like, and I'm not like I've always known, because I'm saying this is just something that I knew naturally. And you know when you kind of, you know something, and you've known something for your whole life, you just kind of assume other people know it. You think, oh, this is common knowledge, everybody knows this. But I actually found out recently when I said to somebody, I talked to them about it and I asked them, I was like, you know what that's for? And they were, I know, I haven't a clue. So with your ironing symbols, what you'll generally find is you get your 1 dot, your 2 dot, or your 3 dot on your iron. Depending on the age of the iron as well, it might say stuff like cotton, synthetic, nylon, linen, so on and so forth. Insert fabric name here. That's helpful when if you're ironing cotton, you know to use the cotton setting. If you're ironing nylon, you know to use the nylon setting. But the thing a lot of people don't realise is on most irons there's little dots along the settings. These dots match the symbols on the care labels. If you have, for example, this symbol here, you've got your iron with 1 dot. Then if you look on the dial on your iron and it says 1 dot, that is the correct setting for you to iron this clothes with. Again, 2, 2, 3, 3. If you have an iron that doesn't have the dots on it, even though I have yet to find an iron that doesn't have dots on it, but there's an exception to every rule. If it's an older iron and the dots aren't on it anymore either, generally just match the fabric. And what I would always say with that is, if it's a mixed fabric product, always go with the lowest temperature setting for the product. So if you have, say, cotton and acrylic and rayon, for example, check if acrylic or rayon are the lowest temperature. Say one of them is 2 dots and one of them is 1 dot, or synthetics or whatever, which is the lowest temperature, and use that setting to iron your clothing. Because if you use too high a setting, especially with artificial or man-made fibres, so we call them, they are liable to be damaged, be overstretched, but also they can melt, and they also can just burn. So just something to be aware of when you're ironing. So when you see the symbol, you do not use steam in the iron. So I think how that works is the way you have a steaming feature on your iron, you can't use that on your thing. It's also not recommended to use a steam iron on the item. And what I usually find as well is most domestic irons are steam based. I'm sure there are exceptions to that. A lot of stuff like travel ones and stuff are just heat. But the majority of domestic household clothing irons use heat, or use steam, should I say, unless you have something like a trouser press. They do use steam. So if you have an object like this, if you cannot operate your iron without steam, my recommendation is to bring it to a dry cleaner or to a professional cleaner and get them to iron it for you, because the steam can damage the fabric or leave watermarking and stuff like that, which is why it's not recommended to be steam, is because the fabric can watermark and stuff like that. So just something to be aware of. A quick note as well, there's these symbols as well. I have never seen these on a piece of clothing in my entire life. So this one means short cycle, this one means reduced moisture, this one means low heat, and this one means no steam finishing, are your dry cleaning labels. So a simple blank empty circle, let go, is your dry cleaning symbol. As usual, if you have your circle with your X through it, stay with me folks, do not dry clean. Yeah, a pretty common thread throughout stuff. If there's an X in it, don't do it. Just don't. You can try. Make sure you've ones you've replaced the clearly. So if you have the letter A in your dry cleaning symbol, that means any solvent can be used in the dry cleaning process. You don't need to know this information, but your dry cleaner does. Now, if you are opening up a dry cleaner, you're planning to, or if you've one of those home dry cleaning products, because there are some home dry cleaning products that you use in the tumble dryer, this could be useful for you. So A, it means you can use any solvent. The next one, and the one you see more commonly, the one I've seen a lot, is P, the letter P, which means you can use any solvent except, let me get this correct, tetrachloroethylene. So again, that is a particular chemical, obviously, or treatment that dry cleaners use. So the F symbol means petroleum solvent only. So that's a solvent for the treatment. Again, guys, in my opinion, another disclaimer I suppose you could call it, in my opinion, what I would personally choose to do is leave the dry cleaning up to the professionals. There is some very dangerous chemicals used in the process of dry cleaning. They are not stuff you should buy yourself. You should not. Do not try this at home. Do not try and dry clean yourself at home. There's a lot of factors included and involved in dealing with chemicals, especially when applying heat to them. So please, if you do choose or decide to do this yourself, please take necessary precautions. My first piece of advice would be don't do it. But if you insist, please be careful, follow the instructions, and contact a professional and ring up a dry cleaner, get their advice before you do it. But yes, moving swiftly along. Oh yes, last one is W. So W means wet cleaning, which I know sounds peculiar. Why? I hear you ask, why? Why do you need wet cleaning on a dry cleaning label? Well, let me tell you. Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Because the whole point of dry cleaning is it's clothes that are not supposed to get wet. So, yeah, not really sure how that works, but I think it's probably that you can use certain chemicals and they can add water to them to, you know, clean the whole garment or whatever. But yeah, so I think that's everything covered. Let me have a look. If you get a circle, this symbol here means do not wet clean. Okay? Do not wet clean. So you'll notice the difference between this and the do not dry clean is it's filled in. It's filled in black. So that's the biggest difference. You will also notice as well that most of the care labels are, if you look at them up online, they're black and white. Because basically nearly all care labels are black and white, because pretty sure because the ink is cheap, but whatever. Oh, I've missed a whole section, guys. Okay, last but by no means least, triangle on your thing, this symbol here. This symbol means that it is safe to use bleach on the clothing. You'll see this a lot more commonly on white clothing, towels, stuff like that, than you will on anything else. If you get the symbol with an X through it, yes, do not bleach your clothes. It's not suitable. Not only can bleach run the colour through your clothing, because that's literally the point of bleach, well, one of the points of bleach, apart from cleaning obviously, but it can damage the fabric itself. Yes, so there's two symbols for this one. So if you see the triangle here with the 3 lines through it, or you see this symbol here with the CL on it and the line through it, that means you can only use non-chlorine bleach with your products. You may also see the triangle here with just the CL in it, which means you can use chlorine bleach, which I think is more a US thing than or a North American thing than it is a European thing. We usually just have the triangle. Yeah, last little quick symbol to add in. This one here means do not wring. Don't wring your clothes out. I don't really know what more I can say with that. Don't wring them out. That's it. Yeah, we've covered washing, drying, bleaching, ironing, dry cleaning. We've talked about chemicals. We've had some tips. Oh, another thing to do as well. This is actually a hot tip, guys. Hot tip. I got this from the plumber who fixed our washing machine, because I bought the most expensive sock that has ever been purchased from Primark. Pennies. Let me tell you this little story. Got a pair of socks from Pennies. Got them on discount. They were only 50 cents. Pack out in 3 or 4. Delighted with myself. 3 pairs of socks, 50 cents. Can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Anyway, brought them home. Great. Wore them. Real comfy, bright colours. Love this for me. Fantastic. Put them in the washing machine. What did I not do? What did I not do? I pushed all the clothes in, didn't double check they were all pushed in. Really should have. Now, I thought they were, but apparently they were not. And what happened was, by some strange collection of incidents and coincidences that happened together, the sock, some way or another, managed to get in the rubber of the door. And it started spinning, and as the machine washed, I could just see the sock spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And I thought, it'll come out, it'll loosen itself. It's a sock, like, it's not like rammed in there. I didn't close the door and there was nothing in the door. Turns out it did get stuck. That was all fine. The machine went on. That was grand. Emptied the machine, unravelled my sock, took my sock out, went on with my life. Next day, put a wash on. What happened? Nearly flooded the garage. Because my lovely little 50-cent sock, well actually 50 cent in a pack of 3, so probably like 15-cent sock, damaged the rubber on the washing machine, on the seal, and broke. Oh, I want to point out as well, this was a new washing machine. So please guys, when you're filling your machine, especially if they're front loaders, make sure there's nothing in the doorway. It's nearly €200 for a new rubber seal on a new washing machine. Very expensive sock, just saying. Also, when you're using your washing machines, regularly take out your drawer, your detergent drawer, and clean it. Yes, they do come out. If there's a different colour tab generally in the fabric softener, like it's generally blue and the drawer's white, if you press on that, it should have written on a push. If you press that down, the drawer should come out. Clean them regularly. It's better for your washing machine and it stops build-up of products. You will not believe the build-up of products that is in there. Also, there should be a little door somewhere in the front, probably the lower end of your washing machine, a little panel. Filter. Also, clean it regularly. If you have the manual, or to be honest, look up online, because nearly all of them have them. Check the manuals online on the instructions how to take care of your washing machine and do it. They last much longer. Anyway, hot tip that was the point of this entire little anecdote. Let's get to it now. When you are using colour catcher sheets in your machine, you should put them in a net. So you know the little nets you get for your washing powder or for your delicates? The little small nets, you can get like big sizes, small sizes, they're good for microfiber. So if you use a net for colour catchers, always put your colour catcher sheets in that, and it keeps the colour catcher, number one, out getting tangled from the clothes, but it also works better, because I was told by the plumber who fixed our washing machine, which was the point of this story, that colour catchers can in fact damage your machine, because they can stick to the side and block the holes and stuff like that, and clog up the machine and the pipes and everything. So little thing to beware of is when they're in the net, they stay in the net and they don't make direct contact with the hot element of the outside of the washing machine. So good thing to know. Also, all your delicates, underwear, stuff like that, use a net bag. Also, if you've loads of socks, put them all in the larger net bags in the washing machine. You can't lose socks if they're all zipped into a bag. Just saying. Just saying. Guys, it has been a journey to get here. We've been through some stuff. I'm joking, obviously. I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope you learned something from it. And if you didn't, and you're really bored, well, guess what? You should subscribe down below, and then go watch my other videos, because they're completely different to this one. I think you'd enjoy them. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, as always, for visiting my channel. You are all wonderful, amazing, fabulous, fantastic, supportive people. I love you all so much, and I thank you all for your kind comments and support. I hope I have not talked too fast in this video. Is it an Irish thing? Yes, partially it is. We do speak quite fast. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Also, my brain goes about 6,000 miles a second, so that's why I talk so fast. If you can't understand me, I do sincerely apologise. I know I got a couple of comments in the last video saying that. So if that happens again, guys, please let me know. It's something I've always done. It's something I'm not always aware of that I'm doing. I am aware that I do it, but when I'm actually doing it, I'm not always aware. So please let me know. If you guys want me to add captions or subtitles to the videos, please let me know this in the comments below, because I will. Like, I don't mind doing that. I will see you all back here next Friday at 1 PM GMT time. We are here every Friday at GMT. 1 o'clock even, 1 p.m. GMT. If you are ever here on a Friday and there is no video, check the discussion tab below, or above should I say, or check my social medias because I will generally post there. But yeah, and for those of you who are wondering, because I got a couple messages on Instagram about this, about my community tab, I don't have a community tab yet because I don't have a big enough channel for one. So just for the couple of people that did ask me that, that's why I don't post in my community tab, because I don't have one. I don't have access to one. So it's not that I'm just like, I don't want to talk to any of you. Have my video and I'll ignore you. I would love to talk to all of you in a community setting and be able to post stories and all that kind of wonderful stuff. But I am not a big enough channel to do that yet. But hopefully soon, guys. We'll keep trying. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have an incredible weekend and Friday. Please check out my socials. They will be coming up at the end of this video on the lovely pink sheet that's at the end. They're in the description box below. Links for them. Clickety click click down. Scroll down. There's little R's beside them. I made it real clear. I would be more than delighted if any of you would like to join me on my social channels. I am more active in there. The best place to reach me is probably on them. I read my comments. I read all the comments on YouTube. I try and respond to all of them. If you've given me a comment and I've missed it, let me know. Because I really do try and comment on every single one of them. But yeah, you're all amazing, wonderful, fantastic people. I love you all so much. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, Friday, next week, month, 2021, decade, century, etc. This has gotten a little bit out of hand, so I'm going to bring it on back now. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Friday. And I will see you all back here next Friday, 1 p.m. GMT. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for the support. Okay, love y'all. Bye.